Hello, we're Ken and Michelle Lau, and this is our son Bodhi.
For anyone who may not know, we run Prism Energy Healing. Ken and I are both energy healing practitioners, and I'm also a psychic medium. We decided that in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month that we wanted to come on and make a video just sharing a little bit more about our own mental health journeys. We really want to be part of breaking the stigma surrounding mental health, and we thought hopefully we could help someone else by sharing our own journeys. To start, both of us are in therapy, have been for a while. We do individual therapy as well as therapy together. And I'm a huge proponent of therapy for everyone and anyone. I think that just talking to someone who is objective about everything that's going on in your life to help you process through things, get to know yourself better, look for ways to grow and deal with challenges can be really helpful and beneficial. And for me, if you know me or if you've seen maybe some of our posts on Prism, I was dealing with severe chronic illness for a lot of years, and my therapist was helping me cope with that, dealing with depression, generalized anxiety, helping me to learn about setting healthy boundaries, and just to grow and be my best self, to help me make the most out of my life and the relationships in them. And Ken is in therapy as well.
Yeah, I started therapy about 2 years now, and it has really helped me. I got into it because I wanted to work on understanding my emotions a little bit more. And what I had realized is that I growing up the way that I did, well, growing up, childhood was fine, but there was some trauma that happened that has caused me to have, I guess, not...
Like a disconnection?
Yeah, disconnection from my emotions.
And so, in addition to both of us being in therapy on our own, we decided to take advantage of the opportunity that we could do therapy together as well. And it's funny because in passing, I would mention to a lot of people like, oh, Ken and I have our therapy session, or we just got out of our therapy session, or this week in our therapy session, this happened. And it's funny because the reaction that you get from people is always kind of like, oh, that's cool. I think a lot of the time people assume that if you're in couples therapy, then that must mean that there's a big problem. And it's like a last ditch effort to save your relationship. And, of course, for anyone who is having a difficulty in their relationship and they decide to seek therapy to try and make it work, good for you. That's amazing. It's a fantastic tool. But I mean, for us, it doesn't have to be that last ditch effort. We were blessed to be able to have the option to do family sessions each week. And we decided to take advantage of it because we wanted to build the foundation of our relationships as we got to know each other. We wanted to learn to understand ourselves better, to understand each other better, to communicate with each other respectfully, and to really try to strengthen and solidify our relationship and to help it grow.
Yeah, I remember when I first actually told one of my family members that we're doing therapy, and he was like, the first thing that jumped out at him was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and just kind of, I think that was a movie that was kind of like, you got it?
Yeah.
It's not really it's basically like Michelle's saying, it's like we're having trouble with our relationship, but it's just quite the opposite. We're just trying to strengthen our relationship by understanding each other through each other's communication style, and it has helped so much in so many different ways.
Exactly. I mean, I think that in our society, we really normalize going to the gym and eating well, getting fit and keeping your body healthy. Keeping your mind and your emotions healthy is so important too. And it can be really wonderful to do that on a regular basis. And not only for yourself, but to do it as a team with your partner and learn to grow together. And of course, every relationship has conflicts. It's helped us learn how to navigate those things better so that when things do arise, we understand more about how the other person thinks, what the other person needs, what's the most effective way to be a team, because we live together, we work together, we have a baby together. And I mean, with all that said, there's that phrase, having a baby changes everything. So true. Having a baby changed a lot for us. Bodhi has been the most amazing blessing. Oh my gosh, he's just the best baby, so sweet, so special, and
He's such a good baby.
he is. It's amazing being his parents, and it's really, I feel such a deeper love for you, for watching you be a father. So there's so much good about it that you honestly, you can't even describe, but it's been a massive challenge as well for us individually and for our relationship. And I mean, we were both already in therapy and talking to our therapist about what changes to anticipate when we had a baby, and how, you know, it's difficult for everyone. It's such a big change. You mourn your old life, and knowing the symptoms of postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, what to look out for. And even with all that, I'm so grateful that we've had our therapist to help us navigate through this, because even though you know what can happen, it feels different when you're going through it. Got it? Sure. I'm gonna sit with Daddy. And for me, personally, some of the challenges that I've been facing since becoming a mom is dealing with those things. I've been really struggling with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And for me, what that looks like, thankfully, I haven't had any difficulties bonding with my baby, but just feeling a lot of symptoms of depression. Everyone's tired, you know, when you have a new baby, but being really, really tired, facing a lot of exhaustion, feeling sad, lonely, hopeless, guilty, feelings of dissociation, really having difficulty doing everyday tasks. I mean, of course, we always make sure Bodhi is taken care of, but like when it comes to myself, even something simple, getting a snack or getting something to eat, like you just can't bring yourself to even rinse a piece of fruit to eat it, you know, not being able to take good care of yourself, even though you're aware what the symptoms are, and you know logically that you want to take good care of yourself and you want to be in a good place. It's really difficult with the ups and downs, you know, of the hormones. And postpartum anxiety is very real as well, and it's a little bit lesser known. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding anxiety in general. And of course, as a new parent, you worry about your baby. As a mom, a first-time mom, you worry about your baby. But postpartum anxiety is different, and it's a lot more severe. Anxiety is just a constant soundtrack in your head, and it's a different way that your brain thinks and functions. And anyone that knows me, you may or may not know that, you know, I already deal with anxiety on a regular basis. And it's just a matter of being aware of tools to cope with that, things that you can do to try and challenge those thoughts when they come through. But with postpartum anxiety, it's worrying about every single thing, big and small, night and day, with no breaks. You know, is his outfit warm enough? Is his outfit too warm? Is his diaper on tight enough? Is it on too tight? Is he uncomfortable? Should I put him down and let him get some independence? Should I pick him up because he wants to be close to me? Is he getting enough sleep? Is he getting too much sleep? Am I trying to put him to sleep when he's not tired? Is he eating enough? Is he eating too much? Does he need a bath? Is it too many baths? Just everything, silly things. And it's just constantly running in your mind, and it's exhausting. Causes you to second guess yourself, second guess your partner, creates a lot of tension. And it's funny being disconnected from your intuition like that, especially because the funniest part, which we're kind of going to touch on a little bit later in the video, is being a psychic. It was very jarring to be in this world where I'm so disconnected from my intuition when it comes to my own baby. And it's been really helpful working with my therapist to understand that mental health has so many aspects to it, and there's nothing wrong with needing help. Everything is not black or white. You know, it's not that you're perfect or you're a mess. You can be really strong in certain areas and still struggle in other areas as well. After you have a baby, your life changes, your hormones change, chemicals in your brain changes, you're running low on sleep, you have a lot of tension. And for me, I know that, you know, Bodhi is over 5 months old. We haven't really seen anybody but family. It's been really difficult for me to branch out socially. I've had some friends that have stopped reaching out, some that maybe kind of took it personally and were wondering if, you know, they did anything to make me upset. And I've had some wonderful friends too that are checking in, asking how I am, telling me that they're here for me. But even as such an open and communicative person, it can be really difficult to share that with other people. Mm-hmm. And I think something so important that we hope people will recognize that's really impacted us is the fact that these postpartum issues don't just affect women. They really affect men too. And I know that that's been a huge part of your experience.
Yeah, I mean, being in therapy for 2 years now, it's just going into having Bodhi. We were actually, I was very excited and still very happy and excited of how everything's been going, because I feel like everything has brought a lot of healing in many sense. But in the very beginnings, just staying present was really on my mind. Just being present and being present, just enjoying the process, even though however we had she had a traumatic birthing experience.
Yeah.
And we were just always tired. I mean, Michelle's can't do a lot of things. We got emergency C-section.
That's what set a lot of it off, I think, having that traumatic birth. We weren't prepared for that.
Yeah,
and we really didn't have that gentle energy to bring us into the parenting experience. There would have been challenges no matter what, but I think that really affected us getting off on the foot that we did and being in some of these struggles, you know. Not the only factor, but like you were saying, it impacted you a lot, having a lot on your plate.
Yeah, having 4 pets and them all being sick at the same time. One of them's actually terminally ill. She's passed now, but it's just, and then with the baby, it's just a lot going on, and also having postpartum, like postpartum depression. But I think basically it triggered my delayed PTSD from my childhood trauma. And it just really brought up a lot of emotions that I wasn't really ready to dig into and heal through. I wasn't really knowing how to work through those emotions. And yeah, I didn't realize that I was depressed for quite a bit into the
we both missed it.
Yeah, until one day my therapist was like, do you think maybe you're depressed or you're having depression? And then I usually I can't cry in front of people, or it's hard for me to cry. And right when she said that, like tears would just start coming down my eyes, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I am depressed, you know, like it was just so much emotion that was there that I didn't realize. But it was just being masked in many different ways, you know.
That's so important to touch on, is that depression doesn't only look like locking yourself in the room and crying all the time and being like uninterested, and that is one facet. And I think that is so important that you touched on that, because it is really vital with mental health that we check in with the people in our lives and understand that there's no one way to look depressed or be depressed. We're both already in therapy and we're so close to each other, and neither of us really recognized that truly is what was going on with you until it was pretty far advanced. And I didn't really realize that men could have postpartum depression.
Yeah, same. But I was kind of being prepared already because I had a neuropsych eval.
Right.
Because of one
of the benefits of therapy was really you getting that detailed help.
Yeah, I did a neuropsych eval that was very extensive. It was like about 3 appointments. Each appointment was about 3 hours. Tests, doing blocks and like memory tests and remembering, repeating stuff and doing stuff on the computer. And what came back was that, you know, when there's high emotion that comes about for me, even though if it's good emotions, but just all different kind of emotions, especially the ones that I didn't really get to learn when I was younger. When those emotions come up, especially having a baby, is what my the therapist was saying, that just try to be present, because disassociation is going to be a very big thing for me, like just kind of checking out and not being able to be present. Right. So my focus during the whole pregnancy, I was very focused and on there, and I was fine.
You're so attentive.
Yeah, it was totally cool.
Yeah.
But like when Bodhi has come, like it was a beautiful experience, but and I was doing my best to be present, to enjoy. And then eventually I think it just wore down, and I didn't realize that moments that I'm actually dissociating.
Right.
And how much is this affecting me?
Even when you know what to look for.
Yeah. So it was rough, like before, like it was just a lot of different emotions. And just to go back a little bit about how my understanding with emotions, 2 years ago when I started therapy, we did a test and it was called Dominoes. No, it was called Emotionals.
Right, it was like a little activity.
Yeah, it was like an activity game that we tried. And through playing that game, I found out that my mind, because I didn't really get a chance to learn a lot of those emotions when I was younger, that she was like saying that my level of understanding with emotions is of a toddler at the time. So I basically during the 2 years I have to like relearn a lot of different emotions to feel it. When I feel certain emotions, okay, what am I feeling here?
Right.
Rather than jumping over from, because I'm not sure if you guys heard of the angry iceberg, but it's like, you know, like if you picture an iceberg, there's a, on the top would be anger.
Right.
On the bottom of it, there's so many different emotions
Underlying,
like
right.
embarrassment, guilt, grief, all different kind of emotions would trigger that emotion. But for me, it's because I didn't really understand all those different emotions, how to tap into it.
Right.
I can easily jump to just kind of be really frustrated, you know, so.
And you've made great progress during that time of being in therapy. I mean, I think that that's just in being in the talk therapy, you know, I think we talk about in terms of spirituality, we're always learning and growing. And I think the same thing should really go for our mental health too. Everyone has something they can work on.
Mm-hmm.
And when you recognize that area and we're working on it, I've seen like amazing growth in you. And it's awesome to see. But that doesn't mean you're not going to face more challenges, you know, like once Bodhi came and you had mentioned that it was really overwhelming for you to have so much on your plate. And I think a lot of people that know us don't realize maybe that Ken is my caretaker, and that, as you may know, I was dealing with severe chronic illness, as I mentioned, and I'm so blessed to be in an amazingly better place than I was before. But a piece of why I'm doing so well is because Ken takes care of so much to allow me to really pace myself and rest and preserve my energy and be really selective with how I choose to use my energy, take care of my body when I need to. And so it was already a lot on your plate. And then when the baby came, it was emergency C-section that we weren't expecting. So in addition to being new parents, it had been a long labor, 74 hours of labor for both of us with no sleep.
Yeah.
And then I had a major surgery. So I was having to recover from surgery. And you were having to take care of me, take care of the baby, take care of the pets, take care of the house, take care of the dishes. And we went, 10 days with no sleep?
Mm-hmm.
So for that to be the foundation, and then for things to just carry on of you having so much. I mean, of course, we were blessed to get help from family.
Yes.
And we have a good support system, but 24/7, it's you here doing so much. And that puts a lot of stress and strain on you. And there's nothing wrong with needing help for that. And we've talked about therapy as one way of getting help for mental health, and you went another route for getting help as well.
Yeah, I decided to, talking to my therapist, she suggested that I take, maybe try some medication and see if it will help. So I was referred to a psychiatrist, talked to a psychiatrist, and was prescribed Prozac. And it definitely has really helped me, because with my delayed PTSD and with everything that's going on, I also have ADHD, which I guess has an issue with providing dopamine, which is your feel-good hormone. And with so much stuff going on, you know, it was hard to deal with. And I guess the Prozac, what it does is gives you higher amount of serotonin. And it takes about a month took about a month for it to actually kick in. For some people, it can take up like 2 weeks or so. And I definitely felt different after a month. It definitely really helped. I'm able to actually center myself, and like just going back, talking about like the whole pregnancy time, I was still things were hard, but I was still able to like actually do my morning meditation and do my practice and go to the gym and stuff like that.
That's
After
hard.
having Bodhi, like there was like no gym, no meditation.
It's not just lack of sleep, your whole life changes.
Everything was
the things that keep you in balance.
Yeah. So the things that keep me balanced was what I was doing, the meditation and the exercising, physical health and all that stuff.
And can I interject something,
Sure.
if you don't mind? I think it's also important to point out that even if you are meditating every day and you're doing yoga and you're journaling and you're in therapy and you do affirmations and whatever other ways that you connect, it's still okay to need help, to be using medication if you feel that that's something that could help you.
Yeah, for sure. I was just basically saying that that's what had helped me
Right.
up until then.
Right.
And now that storm came,
Yes, absolutely.
there's like, that's out of the window too. So, and basically, so the medication really helped. in a month in, I was able to more center myself and like not catastrophize. Like whenever there's just something little, it's hard to like get my mind off of not being upset, or like if we disagree and like how we want to take care of Bodhi in a certain way, you know. But after 2 months in, I wanted to like stop taking the medication, but my psychiatrist and therapist both were suggesting that maybe you should try sticking with it for maybe a few more months before we start weaning you off.
That can be really common, right?
Yeah, because there was like a lot of time people feel fine, and then they want to, because I want to start doing the work myself and just like actually, I think I'm like Bodhi's a little older now. It's not as crazy. We're not worrying that he's not gonna make it.
He started with those medical issues.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking like I'll probably be able to just deal with those emotions better now. But they're saying like sometimes, you know, a lot of people get on the medication and they feel better and they decide to wean off, and that's when they realize how much the medication is helping.
It's because the medication is making you feel better.
Yeah.
That makes you really keen on eating.
But it's not like something that you feel psychoactive or anything. It's just a buildup of serotonin that it
balances you out where you had a deficiency.
Yeah. So right now I'm still on Prozac, and he actually moved. The last appointment we moved down to 10 milligram, which is very low. He started me with 20 milligram. He said that that's a low dose. So right now I'm on 10 milligram, and just kind of so far it's been helping and doing fine with it. So
yeah, I mean I have noticed huge changes, and I'm so happy for how much it's helping you. And Ken making that decision was really impactful for me, because he and I are both very holistically minded. We try to, you know, eat well, vegan, organic, to use holistic remedies when we can. Of course, we're energy healing practitioners, and so I didn't realize fully consciously that I was kind of holding on to this belief for myself that I didn't need medication, or I shouldn't take medication because it would be like quitting or failing or being lazy or taking the easy way out. Because I've been talking with my therapist, and she recommended that this might be a good time for me to try some medication as well, just to help balance me out, even if it's just temporary. And I was kind of discussing those topics with her and the way that I was feeling, and she was helping me identify and work through some of it. And I realized that when Ken made that decision, I wasn't really placing those judgments on him. I was happy for him and excited for him and really glad to see how much it was helping him. And I was just placing that pressure on myself, and it's not helping anybody. Right. And I feel,
yeah, well, Michelle didn't put any pressure on me, but she's always like, whatever you need, you know, just go for whatever you feel like you need. But for me, I actually ended up pulling a card because I felt like I wanted to ask Spirit, and
like a tarot card.
Yeah, I pulled a tarot card, and it was basically saying that I do, like, we pulled duality card, like if I do and if I don't, and it was clearly saying like
it would benefit,
it would benefit me right now at this point. And it has benefited me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's a really important point too, and that's just what I was about to touch on, is that
like we all have that pressure on ourselves. Was the word?
No, that's okay.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, you having that pressure on yourself for taking the medication, you don't have that pressure on me, but I have that issue myself.
Well, yeah. I think that that's an important part of it, because there is the stigma. That's part of the reason that we want to make this video, because even if it goes unspoken, a lot of people might be feeling that way, and it's sad to think that people may not be getting the help they need that could help them. And especially, and what I was going to say, because you mentioned tarot, is that duality or connection of being in the spiritual community actually really impacted me because of who I am and the nature of the work that I do. I was looking at it in this perspective of feeling blocked in a way, thinking that because I'm an energy work practitioner and because I'm a psychic, that I shouldn't need to be on medication, because we believe that energy is at the root of everything. We believe that we're conscious creators of our reality. We can manifest. We're powerful. We can make shifts, and we believe that everything physical in our reality is the result of our energy. But I mean, I guess I was thinking, like, if I needed medication, or if people knew that I had my own mental health struggles, that they wouldn't want to work with me, or that it would be hypocritical And if I'm a psychic, like why am I not able to just tap in and shift all of this? And I think realizing that it even goes against what we share with the people that we work with. We always tell people we're not doctors, we're not medical practitioners. None of the work that we do is ever telling people not to seek medical help, medical treatment, to go whatever route feels right for them. And we always tell people that Ken and I believe that we are energetic beings having a physical experience. And we're here on this journey, this spiritual journey. We don't believe that the goal is to transcend the physical. We believe that the goal is to embrace the physical and to really understand the beauty of this human experience.
Yes.
And so it's okay to, and we believe it's the best, to have a multifaceted approach to take care of your physical, to take care of your energetic, your spiritual, your emotional. And so when I was really thinking about that, I was like questioning myself, well, why do I not have this pressure or judgment on Ken? And I'm giving all these people that I connect with and work with this advice and not giving that grace to myself. And then a friend of mine, it was amazing, like a couple days after I had this conversation with my therapist, a friend of mine who's also in the spiritual community made a post on social media that was exactly about that topic, saying there are a lot of people in the spiritual community or who do healing work that feel like there's a stigma surrounding needing help, that for some reason maybe people wouldn't want to work with them. It was just exactly what I was going through. It was so synchronistic. Seeing that message really solidified to me that just because I do this type of work, energy healing work, and being a psychic, I'm still a human, I'm still a woman. I'm still here in the physical form. It's still okay to need help.
Especially when we're actually walking this path and doing the spiritual work, being energy practitioner, we're actually choosing to go through emotions so that we can heal through them. And we believe that when we choose this path, the universe actually brings us events and situations for us to work through our emotions, and for us to heal through our own past trauma and issues, and the other part is just so that we can have a better understanding for people that we're working with.
Absolutely.
And actually be able to understand from their perspective and their point of view, because a lot of times, not until like when if there's an emotion that somebody's going on, I can tell them as much as I can, it's okay, things will be better, and this, so on and so forth, try to help talk them out of it. But really until I was going through certain emotions that's similar, and that's when I actually was able to understand and relate to the person better.
Right, and that's such an important point, because we do feel so passionate about the work that we do. We want to be able to help people in whatever way that they need, in the best way possible. And I think that that's such an important point. I know that you started your TikTok and you talk about finding the lesson, the gift, and the beauty and the challenges. And I think that has been part of it for us in going through this, is recognizing that now that when we go through these things, it puts us in a position to better help others, like you said, to better understand others, to be more empathic and more caring, and hopefully to allow us to better help the community that we're serving.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's really important too. And I think, with everything that we've shared, really what we want people to know is mental health issues are just as real as any other health issue. Don't discount yourself. Know that if you're going through something, that it is real, and it's okay to need help and to ask for help. And you can reach out to somebody in the community, you can reach out to a therapist, you can reach out to us, and we'll try to help as best we can, get you in touch with resources that you need. If you feel any of these same blockages maybe that I was feeling, or that Ken described a little bit, to know, feeling like maybe that it's weak or a failure or dramatic or anything like that, we're here to tell you that that's not the case, that it's really important to get the help that you need. It's not selfish, it's self-care, and it's so important to be your best self so that you can live your best life. In like a situation like ours, it's being your best self means being the best spouse for your partner, being the best parent for your child, being healed and whole, whatever allows you to get to that space of being healed and whole. And sometimes, that's mental health assistance, that's therapy, that's medication, support groups, whatever it is. It's okay to ask for help, and you're not alone.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times just the way that our society are brought up, like, especially for the men, we're postpartum depression for men is not even talked about, but it's just, if you're thinking about just the way that we deal with things, just to shove things down and not to deal with those emotions, really understand that, taking care of yourself, like Michelle was saying, is taking care of your family.
Yes.
That's what you have to do. If not, you're just really doing a disservice to everybody, the whole family. So
this has been a struggle. We have a really strong, amazing relationship, and this has been a big struggle for our relationship, having a baby, and knowing that Ken got the help that he needed and I'm getting the help that I need. We're giving our family the best chance. We learned from our therapist that 90% of couples who have a baby want to get divorced or think about getting divorced within the first year. That's a lot. That's almost everybody. And so if anything, we hope sharing that statistic will let you know that it's normal to go through these struggles and you want all the help in your corner that you can get. I mean, we can only speak from our own experience, but it has been an amazing resource for us to have mental health services. And we really hope that if you're struggling, that you'll reach out for mental health services to get the help you need to.
yes, take care of you and take care of your family.
Absolutely. Sending lots of love to everybody. Thanks so much for watching. We hope this helped someone.
Yes, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.